After 6 to 8 weeks of woofing, I finally cut it off. And after all the brushing, all the washing styles, all the compression, I thought I knew exactly what was underneath all this hair. And don't get me wrong, the waves were definitely there, but this haircut exposed something I honestly wasn't expecting. I had been putting in all this brush work and some of my angles were wrong. And that made me realize something. More brushing doesn't always mean better waves. Because if your angles are wrong, you might actually be training a problem you're trying to fix. Let me show y'all exactly what happened. Now, before we get to the haircut, let me take y'all back about 24 hours. The day before my appointment, I did a full wash and style. I wanted my hair clean, my pattern laid, and everything ready for the barber. But once I finished, I didn't apply any products. No moisturizer, no oil, no pomade, nothing. I wanted to go into this haircut with clean hair and really see what these last 6 to 8 weeks of woofing produce. Matter of fact, let me ask y'all something. How do y'all prepare for a haircut? Do you put products in your hair beforehand? Or do you go to the barber with clean hair and nothing in it? Let me know down below. Fast forward to the next day. Before I went to the barber shop, I combed my hair out for about 10 minutes. Think about it. For almost 2 months, the hair has been brushed, compressed, ragged up, laid back down, over and over again. So before the barber put the clippers on my head, I wanted to lift everything up and release some of that compression. And notice I'm still combing with my pattern. I'm following the same angles I've been training, or at least the angles I thought I had been training. Now it was finally time. 6 to 8 weeks of woofing was about to come off. For this cut, I told my barber I wanted a 2-guard close with a temple taper fade. And as soon as those first few passes came off, bruh, I could already feel the relief. But there was one other thing we had to address: my hairline. After woofing this long, I had some hangover. Basically, some of that long hair was hanging past where my natural hairline actually sits. So I gave my barber the okay to cut that hangover slightly lower than the rest of my hair, and then edge me up where my natural hairline actually is. And that natural part is important. I'd rather keep my natural hairline looking clean than chase some super sharp lineup and end up getting pushed back. Now, before I show y'all the final results, if you're trying to get deeper 360 waves, fix your crown, improve your connections, or you're currently woofing, trying to take your pattern to the next level, hit that subscribe button, because what this haircut exposed completely changed how I'm approaching my next woof. And this time, I'm documenting the entire correction process. All right, moment of truth. This is what's been hiding underneath 6 to 8 weeks of woofing. And my first reaction, relief. Man, getting all that hair off my head felt good. After almost 2 months, I finally felt like my head could breathe again. But before I tell y'all what I noticed, I need y'all to rate this cut 1 through 10. And don't gas me. I want the real rating. The taper, the lineup, the waves, everything. Drop your rating in the comment section down below. Now, at first glance, I was happy. I could see the waves. I could definitely see progress. So I'm thinking, okay, the woof did what it was supposed to do. But then I started looking closer, and that's when I saw the problem. My back left brush angles were off. Then I looked around the left side of my crown, same problem. And that frustrated me, because y'all know how much brush work goes into a woof. Weeks of brush sessions, compression, washing styles, trying to train that pattern. But this haircut taught me something. More brushing does not automatically equal better waves. Because if you're consistently brushing the wrong angle, all you're doing is consistently training your hair in the wrong direction. And that right there is what I have to fix. So how did I miss it? Here's what I realized. When I'm deep into a woof and my hair is dry, it becomes harder for me to clearly see exactly where every section of my hair is flowing, especially back here on my back left side and around my crown. I can stand in a mirror, think my brush is traveling at the correct angle, and still be slightly off. But when I do a wash and style, that's different. With the shampoo in my hair and my pattern easier to see, I can clearly see where everything is flowing. I can see my connections, I can see my forks, I can see how my crown is forming, and most importantly, I can see exactly where my brush needs to travel. So when I first noticed this, my immediate reaction was, you know what? I'm just not going to brush outside my washing styles anymore. But after really thinking about it, that wouldn't fix the actual problem, because brushing wasn't the problem. How I was brushing was the problem. If I completely stop brushing between washes, I also take away opportunities to reinforce the correct pattern. So I don't need to stop brushing, I need to brush smarter. So here's the game plan for this next woof. First, my washing styles are becoming my pattern mapping sessions. I may do them more frequently when my hair and scalp need it, but I'm not going to force myself to wash 2 to 3 times every single week just because I set some random number. The important part isn't how many times I wash, it's what I'm doing while I clearly see my pattern. During those sessions, I'm studying this back left side. I'm studying my crown. I'm finding the exact angles that make everything flow correctly. Second, I'm doing more mirror brushing, especially in the areas I can't naturally see, because clearly guessing my angles didn't work. Instead of relying only on muscle memory, I'm going to actually watch where the brushes travel, especially around my back left side and my crown. And third, I'm absolutely still brushing between my washing styles. But here's the difference. I'm not mindlessly brushing anymore. The angles I identified during my washing styles, those are the same angles I'm going to reinforce during my regular brush sessions. No random strokes, no guessing, no brushing for an hour just so I can say I brushed for an hour. Every stroke needs a purpose. And if there's one thing I want y'all to take away from this video, it's not about how long you brush. It's about whether you're brushing in the right direction. I'd rather do a focused brush session with accurate angles than to brush for an hour, reinforcing the same mistake over and over again. Now I need my experience waivers on this one. Have you ever cut your woof and realized you were brushing part of your pattern at the wrong angle? And if you fixed it, tell us how. Was it mirror brushing, washing styles, remapping your crown, changing your angles completely? Drop it down below, because your answer might help somebody else watching this video dealing with the exact same problem. And for everybody starting their own woof or trying to take their pattern to the next level, this is exactly the type of journey I built the Deep Waves bundle pack to support. Now let me make something clear. Products do not magically create waves. You still have to put in the work. Your angles matter. Your brushing matters, your compression matters, your consistency matters. But having the right products and tools can help maintain your hair while you're putting that work in. So if you're starting your own woof or trying to improve the pattern you already have, check out the 2-6 King Wavy Deep Waves bundle pack. I have it linked down below. Grab what you need and then put that work in. Now here's the crazy part. I just cut my woof and I'm about to woof again. This time I'm aiming for approximately 12 weeks. My next haircut, October. But this isn't just another woof. This is a correction journey. And I have 4 goals before the next haircut. Number 1, fix my back left angles. Number 2, correct the flow on the left side of my crown. Number 3, improve my connections. And number 4, build more depth with keeping my pattern flowing correctly. And this time, I don't want to rely on memory to tell me whether I improved. Starting today, I'm documenting these exact problem areas. My back left, my crown, my full 360 pattern, some angles, same type of lighting. Throughout this entire woof, so when October comes, we're gonna have actual footage to compare. I don't want to think it got better. I want us to be able to see whether it actually got better, because now I know what the problem is. I know where it is, and I have a plan to attack it. And there's still one question. Can I actually correct this in 12 weeks? I genuinely don't know. Maybe October come and these waves look completely different. Or maybe I find out there's something else I've been doing wrong. Either way, y'all are gonna see the whole process. So if you wanted to see whether this 12-week correction actually works, subscribe right now, because I'm documenting the washing styles, the mirror brushing, the crown work, the regular brush sessions, the mistakes, and the progress, everything. And before y'all leave, I need 2 answers from y'all. Number 1, rate this haircut from 1 to 10. And number 2, if this was your pattern, would you have cut the woof when I did, or would you have kept woofing? Drop both answers down below. And if you see something in my pattern that I'm missing, call it out. Because for the next 12 weeks, we're fixing this thing together. This your boy 2-6 King Wavy. Stop counting brush strokes, start making every stroke count. And I'm out. Peace.